Alright, it is Bloodbath time. So I actually haven't played this like recently that much, but do remember I have hitbox on. I do remember decent bit of it, so yeah. Some little tips on beating this level, so yeah, let's go. First straight fire is not that bad. You just gotta like, if you wanna get really consistent, just come up with like a click pattern that is good enough they will die there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then these two orbs aren't that bad. The second one, you gotta time it a little bit because of this one. So yeah, you might die here like occasionally, but it's still pretty free, so yeah. Okay, now this straight fly as well. Come up with like a click pattern for this. Pretty much. That's how I do it. And this part, just hold. Yeah, it's not that hard, just hold here. Yeah, so this ball part is pretty hard. There's like a pretty recognizable click pattern here, so yeah, just use that. And then what I like to do here, okay, is covered up by this button, but what I like to do here is look at how close my icon is to the spike about right here. It makes this transition a little different depending on where your ball is, so like there. It makes me go like down faster, but if there I was pretty close, you know, I was much higher, so I was able to just hold through there. There I was pretty close, but I was not able to hold through it. Then there, so it just makes the transition a little bit different. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. Vermilion's ship is like, just gotta come up with a click pattern for this as well. That's what I do. And this ball part, there's no like tips here, so you just gotta like be good at it. There we go. You just gotta be good at those timings, so yeah. It does get pretty consistent. There are some like choke point-esque things, like the ball part, for example, but it does get pretty consistent, should at least. Now Michigan, it is the hardest part, so yeah, there's that. But like, there are some tips to make it easier, some little tricks. So these triple spikes are pretty easy. They shouldn't be that hard. You might die there like occasionally, but it's not like that hard. Now this ship portal transition, you can actually do it in two ways, as you probably know already. But the first way is to, I don't know if it's the like normal way of doing it, but just going down and then holding up as you enter the portal. It's not that hard, but it's harder than the second way. Like that. That was a bit awkward, but still. I'd say they're about the same difficulty, but I think the holding after the triple spike jump is like, it's a bit easier maybe. So yeah, just choose whichever. This ball part again, there are no like tricks, so you just gotta be good at it. Now this UFO is not like impossible. Most people say it's like super hard, but I don't think it's like that bad. So start jumping like almost immediately. I wouldn't say like straight away, like almost immediately. Like remember to hold after this cube portal, because you know you can't get through this triple spike if you don't. There we go. And this wave, I'd say it's a bit harder than most people give it credit for. So there's no like set click pattern for it. You gotta like come up with one yourself. So that's probably the main reason why it's like slightly difficult, but still not like super hard. That's what I do. So first of all, I do this double clicks at the bottom. It like makes sure that I don't die to these spikes. And then secondly, at the very beginning, I do 3 clicks instead of 2, and I make sure that the first click is longer than the 2 following it, so that I don't die at the like very beginning, because you can actually die there if you like jump like really early on the triple spike. I actually turn hitboxes on for this one. And maybe I'll do frame step as well. Okay. So like here. gotta mute that. So as you can see, I'm pretty low here. That's why I do the make sure that the first click is longer than the 2. So yeah. I mean, you probably won't be jumping like this early, but still, keep that in mind. Now, Evasium is pretty, I'd say it's pretty free overall. It's not like pretty much at all hard, so there aren't really like any tips I can give here. If you're bad at Evasium, just like womp womp basically. I can't really help that. Just fly through there. Make sure you let go before the UFO part, because if you don't, you're just gonna fly up and die. And the UFO is like, it's the only like slightly hard part of Evasium. You gotta make sure that you know the click pattern well. And you can mess this up sometimes, but it shouldn't be like that hard. Now crack is like, most people say, it's the second hardest part. For me it's like not that bad because I'm pretty good ship. So yeah. So make sure you enter it doing like a couple clicks at the beginning, so that you get over that like hill thing. Or you can just do like one longer click. Something like that. Now some people say you could like rest on these, correct your ship. But I find that to be like much harder, so I would advise you to not do it, but like, I don't know, if you find it somehow easier, then go ahead, but like, yeah. At least on the first one. The second one you could actually do that. You can do that. It actually might be a bit easier, but like, you don't have to do it. I mean, I died there, but that's how I do it. Like, this end bit shouldn't be that bad. Just if you're like really awkward going to the very last part, then you might die here. But it shouldn't be that bad, except if you, I don't know, if you get like really nervous at crack, then it might be kind of hard. But it shouldn't be all that bad. Now, Asonic is like, it's probably the easiest part in the way that like the click patterns are like really easy. There we go. That's the first part, which is like, I mean, I don't know if it's easier than the second part, but still. Just learn the click pattern. You might die a few times if you're like really nervous or something. Now 61 is like, I'd say it's the only somewhat hard part of Asonic, this ball click right here. Basically you just gotta like click as late as you can. Feel like you could. There we go. Now the rest is like free. It's just like click the orbs. You don't have to, some people say you gotta buffer them. You don't have to buffer them, but just click them fairly early. The transition into Etcher. I'm not sure if you can die in this part in like 2.2, but I haven't, so yeah. Some people say Etcher is like really hard. It's not that hard. I mean, it is at the end of the level, so that might affect it a little bit. If you're like really nervous, then you could die here a few times, but still, it's not like too bad. Basically, I mean, there aren't really any tips I could give. Maybe like, so here you can either just hold through it and then release like, I don't know, here, or you can just do like 2 clicks. I think the 2 clicks is like, you won't die if you do the two clicks, but if you do the 1 click, it's like could die. And there, 79 is pretty hard. I don't really have any tips for it, just like be good basically. Now Havoc, okay, I just died, but Havoc is like, it might as well be the easiest part, you know. I never died here from 0, and like there are basically no hard things in this part. The UFO might be like the only, like if you're like super nervous, then you might die there, but you still shouldn't. First is that, and then the second way is there. Basically just whichever one of those feels better for you. Now Giron is like, I'd say it's one of the harder parts. The wave just like jitter click through most of it. You can do it with like longer clicks. Now here there are like invisible blocks here, so make sure you're going like down and don't click here, because then you might die actually. Now this is probably the hardest part of gear round, but I mean by far, and one of the harder parts. This like I'd say this is even like a choke point. 89. So these orbs are pretty hard, but they shouldn't be all that bad. Like you might not even die there like at all. Now 92 is also a pretty hard part. I actually have a strategy for it to make it like much easier. So what I think most people do is that, which is like fine, but you might still die here, you know, to this spike here. So I click this pink orb like almost as early as I can, a little bit late. It makes it so that like the big cube is much higher, and like it's much higher before my like mini cube jumps here, so it makes it so that there's like more leeway so that I don't die, basically. And now G-Boy is like, I mean, it's not that bad, but it's at the end, so it's gonna feel much harder than it actually is. I don't really have any tips here, so yeah, you just gotta be good once again. There. And for the love of God, don't die at this triple spike. Like, please. Don't die there. Actually, I have one tip, it's for this. So if I turn on hitboxes, these both have a hitbox. So you can either go from here, then click early, and then land here, and then click like slightly late, and then go here. Or you can click late on this, so that you can like buffer this one. I do this one, so I click like, I mean pretty much buffer this. Well, pretty much buffer this, and then hit this like a bit later. Not buffer, but a bit later. So there. And if you wanna go for the musical route, just like, it's pretty hard, but it's not like too bad. Like you can realistically do it, but just I would recommend you not to do it, basically. So you can't buffer it, but you can still do it maybe, but you will be better off doing the normal triple spike. So yeah, let's see if I can do it again. There we go. That was pretty much everything I have. I might like put some little clips at the end if I have like something else to say, but that was pretty much it for this guide. Yeah, I hope you learned something new from this, and I hope that, you know, it makes it easier for you to play this level. So yeah, that was pretty much it.